To inspire, to uplift, different people share their gifts. A safe space and open door on a journey to explore human beings.
After years of dedicated efforts in mental health, it is time to spark a meaningful discussion. On Saturday, February 1st, 2025, join me and several special guests for the Are You OK Summit. This year's summit features Michelle Primos, Gary Jones, Leanne Douglas Troutman, Anitra Green, Tamara Hudson, and Emmanuel Magruder. Registration is officially open. Seize the opportunity to partake in this transformative experience. With limited space available, be sure to register today.
Happy Monday.
Everybody, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Look, listen. I'm so happy. So happy Monday, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to A Human Being, Season 2, Episode 4. I am your host, Dwayne Wiggins Jr., along with my fabulous, fierce, smart, intelligent, beautiful,
thank you.
co-host, Ana Henderson. Ana, thank you for joining me tonight.
Oh, of course. It is truly my pleasure. Happy Monday, everybody. Why does this show make us so excited?
I know, right? I'm listening like we're like in the waiting room and we're like jamming to A Human Being, and then we hear like the music getting us ready for the show.
Listen, I need to be on a song,
right.
Like put me in the studio because A Human Being. Y'all hear it. Y'all hear it.
I hear it. Well, thank you so much to everybody for tuning in with us tonight. We're here every single Monday night at 8 o'clock, and you are watching on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. We do appreciate you. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow us and subscribe and know when we are going to be live. So we do appreciate you all. We do anticipate that there's going to be people coming in tonight. Yeah. We have a wonderful show to talk about tonight, so I'm excited about it. I'm excited about what we have to share. I have to give a disclaimer. Okay. I am a little bit under the weather.
Oh,
just a little bit.
Everybody give DW some hearts. We hope he feels better.
Yes, I'm a little bit under the weather. And the truth of the matter is I'm here. I have my tea. I'm drinking actually some. So I'm drinking some vanilla chai tea. Okay. And it's so good. It smells amazing. It's by Bigelow. Okay. It's called Bigelow. And it's in a gold package, and they're not paying us or anything to promote.
They are absolutely not.
They're not.
Is that the do they have like herbal? Is it an herbal tea?
It just says black tea. It's a smooth vanilla blend with flavors and spices, sweet and spicy, all at the same time. I have
never tried a tea like that before. How is it?
I'm going to tell you. It's really good.
Okay.
It's really good and it smells good. So, like I don't have the flu or anything. Like, I don't have that going on. I just have some nasal stuff. And so I just feel like anytime that I feel like a little bit under the weather, like I feel like I need some tea.
Listen, I'm not mad at you. I'm not a tea girl though. I'm really not. I just started drinking coffee like a year ago.
Okay? Oh, I cannot drink. I hate coffee.
Well, coffee to me may not be coffee to the next person, okay? Because I need the flavor. I need the sweetness. I do not want anything black coffee, strong, roast morning. Absolutely not.
So pretty much you need syrup in a cup.
Yes, absolutely. 3 cups of caramel, 2 liquid sugars, put some pumpkin in there. Yeah, that's more like it for me.
Pretty much you need syrup in a cup.
Yes.
I get it. No judgment here. Look at us in the holiday spirit with our red on.
Go us.
With our red on.
We didn't even plan this.
We didn't even plan it.
We did not even plan this.
Did not even plan it. And I think it's because we're in the holiday spirit. I don't know.
We in sync. We in sync. It's the holiday spirit. I mean, we're feeling festive. It's giving what it needs to give.
Listen.
That's pretty much it.
I'm so excited for the holiday for so many reasons. I'm excited because, working in education, I'm excited that we get a 2-week break. I cannot wait.
2 weeks?
2 weeks. December 20th is my last day, and then I'm off until January 6th.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I am happy for you. That is amazing. I am so excited to get this time off. I hope that you relax, do stuff. I hope it snows, like make memories, all the great things. Cook some food. I'll come over. I can come over in those 2 weeks. But when did these kids get 2 weeks off? I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
So normally at my school, we never, like in the years that I've been there, we never really got 2 weeks. We've only did like a week or like maybe, I think it was, I don't even know if it was a full week. It was like some days. But this year we have full weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Doris said that to me and I did not pay her any attention. Okay. I'm sorry. 2 weeks. Girl. Okay. Perfect.
So I'm excited about it, and I think I'm excited for multiple reasons. I'm excited because it just gives me an opportunity to like just recharge and refresh, and the hustle and bustle of the holidays and all of those great things.
I need to join the school district. I'm doing something wrong. What?
Listen,
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Well,
I'm looking forward to it. I am. I'm looking forward, and and there's no major plans. There's nothing. I'm just looking forward to just being in the house.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I love it.
Of course, I'm working on our summit, which I'm really excited about. I am excited, and I can't wait to talk to our guest tonight who's going to be joining us at the summit this year, Mr. Gary Jones, one of our guests. I'm so excited about that. I'm excited about the summit for a lot of reasons, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit. It's the Are You OK Summit that's going to be coming Saturday, February 1st, 2025. Registration is now open. My recommendation, y'all, is don't wait until the last minute to register for the summit, because what's going to happen is that everybody's going to want to come and there's going to be sold out. So don't wait until the last minute, and space is very limited. I'm kicking it off in a very small venue just to kick it off so I can get like my feet wet. This is like my first time hosting a conference of my own. Like I spoke at many conferences around. I actually had a meeting tonight. I'm going to be speaking in Modesto, California. Let me tell you what's going to be so amazing. So I'm speaking in Modesto, and then I'm leaving from Modesto, going straight to Greenville, South Carolina, coming up, and I'm really excited about those speaking opportunities. But it just really piggybacked, like when I started this whole speaking journey of talking about like different things. I'm doing the Are You OK? My Are You OK presentation, which is different from the Are You OK Summit. The Are You OK Summit, you got to come and check it out and see what that's going to be about. But the Are You OK? Right, get your registration in. The Are You OK seminar that I do, when I get to Modesto, I'm actually presenting that presentation 4 times that day. In one day. Yeah, so the way that this is set up, it's a 1-day speaking engagement, and it's a 1-day conference, like a 1-day event. I'll be there that Friday, January 24th. And then the event is that Saturday. And so for an hour and I think they said it's like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. It's going to be like 4 rounds. And people are going to be able to come, and I'm going to present the same presentation 4 times. I'm like, I am going to need an after church nap, because if you've ever experienced the Are You OK presentation that I've done in any place in the United States, you know that it is very emotional.
Listen, I'm sure. I know that each and every time you're going to give something different each and every time. It's not going to be, it's pure. It's just pouring out of you. It's natural. Like 4 times.
4 times in 1 day. I think it's like an hour and 15, hour 25, something like that. We're gonna do it 4 times. So we'll present, like there's other presenters presenting things as well.
Right.
But I'll be presenting. It's about 200 people that attend this event, and we'll present like 4 times to different people, and they'll rotate out and they'll get to go to different things. And so
that is exciting. I'm so proud of you, and I'm gonna say every episode, I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much. And I'm excited because like with that, thinking about the Are You OK Summit, that's really where my passion stemmed from, like really helping people and checking in on them. So I'm like, all of the things that I've done, we started out with the Are You Okay? It really started out personally for me, just asking people, calling and checking in on people. Then we did, I don't know if you remember, but I had Gary on with some other of my friends who are going to be at the summit a few years ago. I think it was 2022, where we did a live version of the Are You Okay? Where we did a mental health check-in. And we had different people come in and talk and share. And that really was amazing. And then I turned it into something that I can go out and present around the United States, just like saying, like, not only checking in on individuals, but teaching you how to check in on people as well, but how to check in on yourself. So we've been doing that. And now we're here at the summit. And this is the opportunity for us to come in together and be able to just share a safe space where people can come and share how they're feeling, get the help that they need. We have a couple of different panels that's going to take place. We have a workshop, a grief workshop. So with my friend Anitra, who I was just with on Sunday, yesterday, I'll talk to you more about that later.
I saw those pictures because we still need our weekend recap.
Right, we do. And it's like, so I'm just excited about all the things that are happening. But the summit is going to be amazing, and like people are talking about it, people are registering, people are seeing me and saying like, "Hey, I'm coming." But I do encourage you that if you are planning to come, don't wait till the last minute to register, because you're going to miss out. You really will miss out. You will miss out. So Ana, enough about the summit. I mean, we can keep talking about the summit all day, but I really want to know, how was your weekend? Because I saw you attended an event. I think it was Friday night. I saw everybody looked amazing. I don't really know what the event was, but I want to hear all about your weekend.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So one of my good girlfriends invited me to a surprise birthday party for one of our mutual friends. Like it was for her dad.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, of course. Like, who doesn't love birthday parties? Who doesn't want to celebrate another year of life and gather and socialize and party and eat and everything? So I'm like, of course. I rummaged through my closet, found a little something cute, curled my hair up, got ourselves together. It was like an hour away from where I live.
Okay.
I'm not a person that enjoys far rides. I'm sorry. I don't even take road trips. Okay, anyway, but we made it there safely. I'm sorry. I don't have the name of the place. I really have to figure it out, but the location was beautiful. Walking into the establishment, I mean, of course, it was all decked out with Christmas decorations, but the space that they rented, it was just an open floor. It was huge. Like, I mean, there was at least like 20 tables. It was really big. Wow. It had its own dance floor. The DJ had his DJ booth. There was a nice size bar and a buffet style. Was set up. So, they called us by table. The food was really good. I'm not going to hold you. I mean, when you go to those type of places and they offer the food, it's a little questionable, but it was really, really good. But we surprised them. Like, everybody was on time. They were in place, and it was really nice. It was very heartwarming to just see their family, interact. And listen, I got on the dance floor a little bit, little two-step, little electrify, little wobble, baby, wobble. I can't stay off the dance floor. That's the thing. But funny. Friday night was so much fun. It was good to get out the house and feel pretty and dance and party with my girlfriend. So we took pictures. I love when a party has a photo booth. Right. Give me all the props.
That's
and I will take pictures all night. But that was Friday. Good time. And the rest of the weekend I was being a mom. I had to do 2 heads out of my 4. Thank God. Oh God, thank you, Hendrix. Hendrix does not have a lot of hair right now, so he's one less head that I have to worry about. But the other 3, I have to do their hair, but I did 2 of the 4. So that was pretty much it. We cooked. We watched more Christmas movies. Can't watch enough Christmas movies.
I know.
Who can watch enough Christmas movies?
Tis the season.
But yeah, that was my recap. So how about you?
My weekend was so eventful. And so first I want to start with my week. My week was very heavy last week. Just with a lot of things that I dealt with like students and stuff at work. Nothing personal per se, but just some heavy things that I dealt with at work with different students. And I love them so much. So of course, like when they go through, I feel what they're actually going through and then being able to relate to them. So I looked forward to the weekend. I thought, I guess I didn't realize how much I really had to do or how tired I was. I don't really know, but it was a very eventful weekend. And so Friday night, I came home. So I had told the kids that we were going to go see Moana 2. Did you? We did go. I'm going to talk about it. We did. We totally went. Okay. However, what I concluded and what I realized is that I had never seen Moana 1.
I know you was going to say that. Right? Oh my goodness. I said it last week. If you didn't see Moana 1, go see it so you can get your recap.
Yeah. So I did. So I did. So Friday night, me and my niece, we were on the couch and we watched it, and I thought it was good. I did not stay up the whole time to try. I mean, I was in and out of sleep. I am a person that is I was already tired. So the moment I sit down, I'm going to fall asleep. So So we're watching it, and I'm like going in and out, and it was so funny because there's that popular song. I'm not going to sing it because I don't want to take our video down, but it's the popular song. That's in the film is that I knew that song, but I did not know it came from that movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was like, I didn't know it. And so like I said, I'm not going to sing it because I don't want the copyrights and all that kind of stuff. I don't want them to like snatch the video down. And, all that stuff.
They won't know. I don't sound like her. It's not.
But you don't have to sign it. It's just the wording. We don't want our video to come down.
All right. Okay. I'm sorry. All right.
Sorry. But go watch. If you know the song, you know the song.
Yes.
Right. So I knew the song. I knew the song, but I'm like, I never knew that the song came from that movie. So I watched it and I thought it was good. And so on Saturday, I had a hard time getting up. So I finally got up and went to the dry cleaners as I do every Saturday.
Okay.
And we went to the movies. I actually went to Michael's because I wanted to get some stuff on my Christmas tree and all of that kind of stuff. Got a huge blessing on that day. If it comes up in the conversation, I'll share. But it was a huge something happened that was so amazing. I might share that at the end. I don't know, but it was a huge blessing. If you stay at the end, you will find out something so magnificent happened to me and Michael's on Saturday.
Michael's,
yes. Okay, so then I went to Michael's, got like Christmas stuff, and then we ended up going to the movies. And so we get to the movies and we get there early because I like to be on time for everything. So we get there early, of course. The movie started at 5:30. We're there at 5 because you get the snacks and stuff like that. I love to be on time.
Yes.
So we get our snacks and stuff, and we go into the movie, and I'm like, the seats are reclining and all these things, and I'm like, I know I'm going to sleep. Like I already have in my heart that this is going to be the best nap, because then that's when I really started not feeling well and all those great things. I'm like,
okay.
Believe it or not, I did not go to sleep. The movie was so fantastic. To me, it's better than the first one. Like,
for sure.
It was so fantastic to the point to where I was like, I want to go see this movie again.
Yes, thank you.
It was so good.
I told you.
And so I was thinking about you the whole time. And even like the kids, like my niece and nephew, like they enjoyed it so much. Like we talked about it. Like I'm big on like unpacking stuff. I don't know what that. I need to get a life, but I love to like let's unpack this movie. Let's talk about this. Like they're like, can you turn off this like life coaching hat for a moment and just enjoy? I'm like, let's unpack these stories that came out of the movie.
Yes, it was so good.
It was fantastic.
Where they took the storyline, just everything that was exposed and found out and discovered. It was so beautiful. Like I couldn't be happier with the new characters and everything.
Yes. So every emotion that you felt and that you said, I felt the same thing.
Yes.
It was really a great movie. So then, not only that, so we did that on Saturday. The movie was great. We talked about it. I can't wait to go see it again. It was fantastic. So the kids and I were like, we're going to go see it again because it was really, really that great. So then on Sunday, I had an opportunity to attend my dear friend, my sister Anitra's Anitra Green. Oh, she just came on. She said, "Good evening, everybody." Anitra, I'm just talking about you. So I'm glad,
Anitra girl.
right? I had an opportunity to attend Anitra's book signing, which was so phenomenal. Anitra Green has released a new book called "The Day Grandpop's Music Stopped," and it was it was just, the book is so beautiful, right? So I have it here.
How do I get it? I want to get it. What do I do?
I'm going to tell you, like, I'm going to make sure that everybody knows how to get this book. The book, so the illustration in the book is beautiful. Everything was just beautiful, and we arrived at the book signing. We were there. My a couple of my friends were with me. My sisters was with me, and we were there. And it was just a beautiful thing. Like, they have it was like kids there. So what Anitra did, she told a little bit about her history and the background and how she came to do the book. And then she took some time to read the book to the kids that were there. Yes. And it was just so beautiful, because like when you think about like grief and you think about like all these different things, like how do you really explain grief to kids? Like, there's no real formula to like how to do it. But what Anitra has done so beautifully with this book is like, she calls it, like, it didn't say like the day grandpa died. Like, right. It's like when his music stopped, because how music, and to me, what my takeaway from it was that music is so universal, and music is really the thing that connects all of us as humans. I don't care. There's nobody that you ever heard say, "I don't like music."
Nobody.
We like different genres, but there's nobody you've never heard say that I don't like music.
Right.
So it's called When the Day That Grandpa's Music Stopped. And it's about these two little kids that are explained, like their parents are explaining to them, it's Nathan and Tia, and their parents explain to them about their grandpa passing away. And it's so beautiful, like it's so well written. The illustrations are so beautiful. And I mean, it's such a great book that I think that every person, like, even if you don't buy the book for like every single child, I think that every single person should have this book in their house. Like, there should be at least one copy. Like, for me, on a personal level, because she's my friend and my sister, yes. Of course, I want everybody to buy the book. Buy it for your pets, buy it for your dog, like buy it for everybody. I want everybody to have this book. Okay, all right. You can buy one. You can buy it from different rooms in your house. You can buy one for the bathroom, the kitchen, your dining room table. I want everybody. But if you can't do that. If you can't do that, at least buy one for your house, because I think that not only is this book helpful for kids, it's also helpful for adults, because all of us have a way that we don't sometimes know how to deal with grief. And I think that this is a conversation starter. And I think that this is so great, and it ties right into like what we're talking about tonight, about having conversations, but this ties right into it. And I think that if you purchase this book, you will not be disappointed. I mean, come on, look, it's so beautiful. Can you even see like,
yes, I can see it. I love it.
Look at this illustration of like the heart, like around grandpa, and then like the music notes.
Yes. I can see it. Wow.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. So please make sure that you get this book. It's available wherever you get your books, online. Please. And I'll make sure that if you go to our website, we'll put a link up to where you can go get to Anitra and get this book. But I'm so excited about that. It was so fancy. Like, look at this. I even say, like, she had like the little potato chip bags and water. Like, listen, what kind of book?
You better go here, girl.
I don't know if you ever been to a book signing like that, but I haven't.
Listen, you do what you need to do when you believe in yourself and you believe in your dreams. I love that. That is how you network.
Listen,
guess what? Some walking down the street, somebody asks you, where you get those chips from? Where you get that? What? Oh, this.
Listen, these chips are going to go stale because I'm never opening this bag. I think this is so. I love it. So please do not be surprised when you come to the summit, the Are You Okay Summit, and you see a bag of chips.
Yep.
with water. Do not be surprised.
Yeah, promote it. Okay. But listen. We need to talk.
What you want to talk about?
Reel it in. We need to talk.
Okay. What you want to talk about?
I want to talk a little bit about communication. Maybe the things that grinds my gears, or the little miscommunications that may happen at work, or I want to talk a little bit about that. The number one thing being.
Listen, so I love to communicate. I do. I love to communicate. Okay. I'm glad you said you want to talk, because guess what? We have a special guest here tonight that is going to help us walk through communicating, what it looks like to be a communicator. I am so happy. This is my other friend. This is my other friend that's coming on with me tonight. I'm so happy. He's going to also, I don't know if I told you this, but Anitra's going to be at the Are You Okay Summit presenting. Yes. Then Gary's going to be at the Are You Okay Summit. Like, the Are You Okay Summit guests are in the house. I mean, come on.
Listen,
they are on here, right? So I want to bring Gary on. Gary Jones is the founder and CEO of Surviving Today LLC, and he's going to join our conversation tonight to talk about communication, because the night show topic is we need to talk. And what we need to talk about is that we need to learn how to talk, we need to learn how to communicate, and we need to know an effective way to be able to communicate with others. So Mr. Gary Jones, welcome to A Human Being, and thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Well, hey, good evening, everybody. I hope you guys like my background. I wish I could tell you this was my place, but well, tonight is going to be my place, and so
we love it, absolutely love it. Hands down.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here with you guys this evening, and honestly, I was sitting backstage listening to you guys talk. And honestly, if you would have kept talking, it would have been fine, because I was enjoying y'all talk, to be honest. So it really was good. Thank you. And to my friend Anitra, I'm sorry I couldn't see you yesterday, but I'll see you soon. Okay. So okay, guys, let's get it on. What do y'all want to start first?
So Gary, we are talking about communication, and Ana led us right in. She said she wants to know, Ana, what was it? I want you to tell Gary.
Well, the pet peeves that upset you about communication, or the miscommunication that just happens.
So before we get into the conversation, Gary, this is what I want to say. I think we got to understand, like, what is communication? Like, let's lay the foundation of what is communication and what is the best way to understand communication.
So I wanted to come with a definition of effective communication. And I think when I give you that definition of effective communication, then you'll understand what ineffective communication is. But effective communication is the process of exchanging ideas, thoughts, opinions, knowledge, and data. And in a way that the message can be received, it can be understood, and that you can understand it with clarity and purpose. So in other words, when we communicate effectively, there's no misunderstanding between the sender of the message and the receiver of the message. So which is what we're doing here. So hopefully I'm the sender. Hopefully I'm able to tell you or say to you what I need to say, and hopefully you as the receiver will be able to understand what I'm saying. That's effective communication. Now, ineffective communication is just the opposite. We don't understand, we miss things, we just don't get it right. And we do that sometimes on purpose, and sometimes we do it not on purpose.
I love that. Thank you. I think what you said is one, understanding the sender and the receiver, like that understanding is so important. So I want to ask you, like, how important is effective communication in our daily life? Like, in your opinion, how important do you feel that daily communication is effectively?
Effective communication is very important. I mean, you can't live a healthy, positive life without it. Let's just be honest. If you're always at odds with people on your job, in your family, or wherever you may be at on the subway. I don't care wherever you're at. If you're always at odds with people, that's not a healthy thing. So healthy communication is important. And I mean, the only way that we can have that is to learn how to communicate, to understand what that means, and to do it, and to learn to do it effectively. And that takes some practice. So sometimes people think that they're really good at it, but they're not.
Yeah.
I think it's important. Ana, you were about to say something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have a question as well, but go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. You go ahead, because I want to segue into something, but I want you to ask your question.
I mean, for the people that I guess have a hard time trying to communicate with someone, what are some suggestions or some ways that you can guide someone or just help someone work through that?
I mean, I think the first thing we have to do is we have to understand what type of communicator we are.
Okay.
I mean, I think that once we realize who we are, how we communicate, then that helps us to understand how we can do it better. So now I know that classically there's like 4 different types of communication styles. And you got the passive communication style, passive aggressive communication style. You got the aggressive communication style, and you got the assertive communication style. And each style is different. Now, you might be able to come up with some other styles, but I think that everything kind of falls within that. So I want to say that first, because when you understand what they are, then this helps you to know what you need to do and how to change. So, like, for example, you got people who are passive communicators. People that are passive communicators are people that, for the most part, they want to avoid confrontation. They want to, like, they want to express their opinions, but not at the cost of disturbing the peace. Now, what that means is that these people will probably end up not saying what they want to say, and that's going to cause a lot of internal conflict with them. But they don't get to say what they want to say. The other group of people, I'm going to call the passive aggressive folk. Now, those are the people that they're on the surface, they appear to be pretty calm, pretty cool. Okay, we're peaceful. There's not a problem. But underneath all of that, there's that little snide remark here. There's that little that thing where I'm not going to call you out, but I'm going to try to call you out. Like at work, it's that person at work who doesn't like what's going on, will not actively tell you that they don't like what's going on, but what they're going to do is do something that kind of undermines what's happening. And you may not think, unless you know them, you might not think that there's a problem, but there's a problem. Okay. And so that's the first. And then you got the aggressive communicator, and I think that speaks for what it says. I mean, these are the people that are at all costs. These are people that's going to they're aggressive with it. They're rude with it sometimes. Since we're going to talk about work, we all have that person that just got that. They're just overly opinionated. They too opinionated. They dominate the conversations. They, for the most part, and they don't really care if how you take it. Like the people that's going to say to you, I don't really care what you got to say because such and such, and this is just how I feel. Not recognizing that just because that's the way you feel doesn't make it right.
Right.
But then you got the assertive communicator, and those are the people who, for the most part, they've learned how to say what they need to say. These could be your peacemakers. These could be the people on the job or at school or wherever you're at that just knows how they know how to sort of turn the tide. They can shift it from really being a really, really bad situation into something where it's like, hey, you know what? I don't have to be aggressive to get my point across. I don't have to be passive to get my point across. Put me in the middle. What I need to be is clear. I need to be direct, and I need to be respectful. So I'm saying all that to say that you got to figure out where you are in those four styles of communication. Because when you figure that out, then we could talk about tips as far as getting better.
Okay.
But those are the first places I would tell you to go.
Okay.
Do you think that people can be a mixture of both, or do you think like it's solidified as you are one or the other?
I think, that's hard. Okay.
Question, as I said.
I think that I honestly, truly, I think that we are more one or another. We can have some aspects of it. Like there are times in which I consider myself an assertive person, in the sense of that if I will say to you what I need to say to you, and hopefully, you'll agree with it. And if you don't, that's fine. I can accept the fact that you won't accept it. That's cool. But there are times when I recognize I might need to be a little bit more passive. Now, I'm not that person, but I'm not that person who's going to be like aggressive, trying to dominate you in a conversation. I'm not that. I don't like doing that. That's not me. So I think all of us can have bits and pieces of those things at times, depending upon the circumstance. But I do think that all of us fit one of those four communication styles very, very easily. Like someone could look at you, could look at me, look at Dwayne, could look at Ana, and see, and if they know you, they could say, yeah, that's more like him. That's more like her.
Nice. I think my next question is, thank you for sharing that, because I think like that really helps set the foundation for individuals to begin to examine to see what's their communication style and how they express themselves. So I think what's important when we think about like these different communication styles, what is the number one thing, or it could be multiple things, but what is some of the top things that you see that in communication, like what is our role in communication? Because when we hear communicating, we think like there's two people talking, we both got to share, we both got to say what we need to say, because communication, I've heard this saying before, like people say communication goes both ways, so I think that there's people that are looking for people to talk. But in my opinion, I think that there's something even more greater than just talking. Can you speak to the role of the communicators? What do you feel like the foundational role should be?
I think that as far as communication, we should be active listeners. And I really think that we need to listen.
Yes.
That's something that you and I have talked about in the past, the whole idea of listening to learn versus listening to respond. When we are listening to learn, I hear what you're saying. When we're listening to learn, I'm getting what you're saying. Now, I may not necessarily agree with it, but I'm learning. I can understand why you feel the way you feel. And that's active listening, because I'm hearing you. I'm empathetic to what you said. Being empathetic doesn't necessarily mean I got to agree with you, but it means that I do agree to hear you. Now, the problem, I think, is that a lot of times we're not listening to learn. And I think we see this a lot in our political situations and discourses. We see that a lot. A lot of times, you will find one side will have one viewpoint. Another side will have another viewpoint. I think that the reality is that most of us are in the middle. I think most of us are in the middle somewhere. I don't think all of us there may be some people that might be totally liberal and some people that might be totally conservative, but I really think that most of us have liberal and conservative values. But when we listen to learn, we get that. We hear that. When we listen to respond, I'm not really trying to hear that we have values that are the same. And I think that sometimes, to be honest with you, that leads to many of our barriers of communication. We have to be able to learn how to respond to a person. Because when I learn how to respond to you, now what's happening is I am willing to hear you, talk to you on your level. To me, that's communication. That's effective communication.
Yeah. I think too, something you just said, I think, which is so great, is when you talked about barriers. And I'm glad you said that, because it brings me to like this article that I was reading. I didn't even know if it was going to come up in this conversation tonight, but it's this article that I was reading in some studies a while ago, and it talks about like the 7 barriers to communication. And I'll call out and talk about them a little bit, and if you don't mind just elaborating on them a little bit, that way, so that people will kind of have an understanding. Like, yes, we need to learn what type of communicators we are.
Mm-hmm.
We need to become active listeners within the communication process, but also understanding the different types of barriers that stops us in our communication, because this will give you an opportunity to really evaluate or self-reflect on the barriers that may be hindering you. That if you're trying to communicate with someone, or you're trying to like have a conversation and you're feeling like I can't get through to this person, that some of these barriers might be the thing that's hindering it. So one, I want to talk about physical barriers. I know like most places that, like when we think about like work, there's like cubicles. Like there's like those physical barriers that stop us from being able to connect to each other. So can we talk about that a little bit, like how the physical barriers impact our communication?
Physical barriers at work. You can have groups of people working in one area, groups of people working in another area, and sometimes those areas don't connect. You know, sometimes at work you can have all of your administrators over here. You know, you can have, you know, all of your, like, you know, for me, I'm a therapist, so the therapists are kind of all over the place. But you got your you know, your administrative staff here, you know, your medical staff over here. Now on my job, we kind of do a pretty good job of intermingling with other, you know, with each other, but a lot of times some jobs don't. You know, some jobs you are this particular job, like that, this is your task and this is what you do, and don't bother me as I'm doing what I'm doing. So I mean, sometimes the layout, I mean, like as you said, cubicles, I mean, the layouts can sometimes can just keep us from, you know, just actively communicating. Sometimes if I mean if the layout of the not so much the layout, but just the noise level, like, you know, do you guys talk? Like, we have 2 offices, and one office is really kind of loud. We all talk, we intermingle. And the other office is a little laid back, you know, and it's okay, but it's just, you know, sometimes the physical distance can cause that, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go through these next 3,
Please
and
do.
then I want to bring us to one to talk to. So I want to talk about like perceptual barriers. These communication barriers exist in people's minds based on how they perceive the world around them. They can be caused by the many cognitive biases of human minds that prevent us from perceiving people and situations accurately. We also have emotional barriers and cultural barriers. Like, you know, emotional communication barriers are the negative feelings we acquire about certain people, places, and situations, whether caused by bad experiences or the influences of others. They evoke emotions such as fear and mistrust that prevent effective interactions. Then we also have like our cultural barriers, like our difference in beliefs. We have our language barriers. We have our gender barriers. But what I want to really focus on, Gary, because I want you to speak to this, we have interpersonal barriers. And interpersonal barriers are patterns of behaviors that prevent you from communicating effectively, or that prevent people from communicating with you. And I just want to add this in. This communication barrier can be tricky to identify, as there may be many drivers. For example, a person may have difficulties at work that causes them to withdraw. They may have issues with self-esteem that drives a lack of assertiveness. They may have superiority issues that give them a tendency towards being overbearing or belittling. Workplace cultures is great prevalence of distance working can also cause these issues. The best advice to observe these patterns of communication that occur with people together are look for the clues as to what may be causing these issues. We want to talk about interpersonal barriers because I feel like that is really huge.
I mean, interpersonal barriers are huge. I mean, how we act around other people, how we work around other people, becomes huge. And I think my personal opinion is I think it begins early on. It begins before we get to the job. No doubt on our jobs, things can happen and can shape how we respond. But I think we also need to take a look at, where were we before we got to that job? What was life like before? Because I'm going to take it back, because the reality is that to understand who we are today, we got to understand where we came from.
Yeah.
We have to, you got to understand, you didn't just wake up and be an aggressive person. That didn't just happen. That was not the interpersonal skill that you might have necessarily been born with. But however, you might have came out of a household that had those type of socialization skills. And so now what happens is that you learn to take that with you into your schools. You learn to take it with you into your grade schools, your middle schools, your high schools, your colleges. And then you learn to take that into the workplace. And if you don't learn how to change, if you don't realize that there's a need to change, then these same skills continue. So you're saying patterns of behavior, then we have to understand that these patterns of behavior start young. Now, these patterns of behavior can be changed. All of us can change, but there has to be a willingness to want to change. We have to understand that it's not just us. Everything that we do impacts everybody else around us. I can start to yell and scream at work at people, and it's going to impact people who I might not necessarily be expecting it to impact. There might be that one person who's really kind of shy, really kind of withdrawn. And so now what do? They shy away even further. They don't want to be a part of the conflict. So I'm not even trying to impact that person. My issue might be with a person who ate my lunch. Okay, my name was on my lunch and you ate my lunch. But the way I behaved, the way I reacted, the way I responded impacts the person who had nothing to do with that.
That's very true. I've experienced that before. I remember being in a situation where there was a group of people in the conversation. It was a group of people in the conversation, and the person that was visibly and verbally upset about a situation was talking directly to someone, but the way that they were talking to them affected me, and it triggered something in me, and I know that it triggered something in me from my childhood. So it's like I really can relate to what you're saying, because I remember very distinctly how that impacted me in such a great way. And that person wasn't even talking directly to me. Yes. And it was with yelling and screaming and slamming. And it was just like, oh my gosh, like it triggered something or brought back a memory that I remember that didn't feel good growing up or being in situations where there was like this chastisement of yelling and screaming.
And so when we're talking, once again, when we're talking about interpersonal behaviors, we have to understand there's an interlocking of behaviors. There's an interlocking of relationships, on our jobs, even with your students in school. I don't know how old and what grade that you're dealing with in school, but, we have to understand that these kids are coming to class, coming into the school building with issues that we don't know. We see the acting out behaviors, but we don't see what goes on underneath that.
Yeah.
We don't know what's rising to the top. We don't see the disappointment. We don't see the hurt. We don't see the anger. We don't see the fact that child is dealing with the fact that that dad is not there, or that there's no positive male role models in their lives, or no positive female role models in their lives. We don't see the fact that there's maybe poverty issues, economic stuff going on. Maybe there's not enough heat in the place, and then these kids come to class. It it speaks for itself. And these same kids become adults. If they are lucky and blessed, they become adults, and then they bring these same coping mechanisms into the workplace and into their families. And for them, sometimes it makes sense, but it's not making sense, and it's not working.
Yeah, I totally get that. Ana, before we wrap up with Gary, and I know this is a conversation that we can continue to go on, I wanted to leave the floor with you because I know that this was a important topic for you when we were like putting the shows together. We were talking about this and communication. So I wanted to turn it over to you so that you can chime in and ask your questions or whatever the case may be for you.
So, I mean, I really just love hearing all of what was said tonight. I think that it touches on a lot of different views that everyone may not be aware of. I know that I have come a long way with my communication. I feel like I definitely used to be a hot tamale or a person that, would find an occasion or two just to get my point across. And maturing and going through things, losing friends, friendships, because of communication. I've learned a thing or two, but I definitely appreciate, all of your knowledge and guidance and just the facts that you have to help, the next person or to even help myself continue to grow. The number one thing I feel like for me as far as communication or a pet peeve is, when you're texting someone. I'm so sorry. But when you're texting someone and you perceive a message the wrong way, that communication, I've gone through that so many different times. Like, I didn't mean it that way, but you took it that way. I don't know if that's something that you can speak toward or just punctuation. Like, I don't know how people.
Well, I mean, that's a real thing. We're living in an age of where everything is social media. Everything is testing and so on. And so what I would say is that what we need to do is we need to ask questions for clarity. We need to make sure that we don't respond the way we want to respond initially, because especially with text messaging, the reality is that we can't really see what is behind the message. We can't see, all we can do is read the message, and we're going to read the message the way we feel at the moment, and probably about the person at the moment. So we're probably gonna respond to it that way. So I think the first thing we got to recognize, everything is not personal. Everything is not personal. We need to ask questions. If Dwayne says something to me in a text message that upset me, before I jump at Dwayne, I need to once again use my assertive communication and say, "Hey, Dwayne, this is what you said. Well, this is what I think what you said.
Right.
When you explain to me, because maybe I was wrong, Dwayne. Maybe I was wrong about it. And if I was wrong, I'm going to. So I'm going to keep an open mind. All these types, try not to be non-judgmental, I guess, and just really just allow myself to really try to seek the clarity that I need, because once again, if I don't, I'm going to say something. I'm going to do something that I probably shouldn't say and do, and will regret. That's what I would say, honestly.
I get it. I agree.
I love it. I love. We are out of time, but Gary, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us here at A Human Being. And I know Ana, on behalf of myself and Ana, we are both just so grateful. And I know that this is a conversation. Like, we got to have you come back for part 2.
Yeah.
Please.
If you're willing. If you're willing.
Wait, let me see. Yeah, I'll do it. Look, you guys know how to get in contact with me. All you gotta do is say a word. And as long as it's a date and a time, and usually Dwayne knows it's usually a good date and time anyway. So guys, it would be my honor to come back. Thank you for having me here and just for being a part of your awesome show. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Gary. Everybody, y'all show some love for Gary. Thank you so much, Gary, for talking with us tonight. Gary Jones, LCSW founder of Surviving Today LLC. Gary, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
How awesome was that?
Oh my goodness. I love hearing learning things like this. I feel like I don't get enough. I went to a church school, guys. I went to Grace Christian Academy. I feel like we didn't talk about this kind of real life stuff, you know?
No, I get it. And I think what it is that you just kind of like learn as you go along. Like there's really no rules. Like there's always like things that you can learn to, like when you're learning how to communicate and all of these great things. I think that it's just a part of life. And I love what Gary said about being able to take a moment to just really see like really what the person is like. If you're in a place where you could just pick up the phone and call to get clarity, I think just pick up the phone too. But if you're in a position or in a space where you have to text, like he said, everything ain't personal sometimes. Like sometimes it's responding to, you know, just having a moment to respond. I think for me, like I know we've gotten so in a world of texting, and I'm okay with that. Like, please, I don't mind texting.
I'm talking on the phone.
You gotta call. You don't have to call. I don't mind texting. However, we just gotta understand that life is happening, things are happening, people are doing things, people are responding. Like just don't take it personal. And I think that it's important to get that clarity about like the tone of the text. Now, somebody writing you in all caps, and it's not like I just hit the lottery or something, like kind of judge that to know like, oh, they might be mad. They might be mad. They might be just a little bit mad. But if somebody says something, like just get some seek some clarity, and you don't have to always be so quick to respond. Sometimes you got to just listen. I think like that's one of the most important things that he said, just active listening. Like don't listen to respond, just shut up and listen and take in what the person said. But one of the key things that we didn't go really into tonight was about the being empathetic in your conversation, like showing that empathy, like being able to understand the person's perspective. I'm not saying that you have to agree with them, but understanding doesn't mean that you agree. Like you kind of have like, I can see why you may be thinking that. I can understand why you may be yes, but show some empathy with what is taking place, because it's like you already. I know I'm the pop off. Like I've never been in a fist fight in my whole entire life, but my words will tear you. They will cut you deep.
Talk about it.
So it's like,
I don't know,
because I know that I can speak in a certain way to get you up off me. I'm very mindful to, if somebody's expressing something, I'm listening. And so what I normally try to do is I try to follow up with like questions, like just so that I could get clarity. Or even when I'm speaking to people, and I do this to the kids a lot, that I'll say everything like I need to say. And I say, so what did you just hear me say? Like, what did you take from what I just said? Say it back to me.
Right.
And I think like that is another way to be able to communicate, because when they're saying it back to you, that if it's something that they may interpret what you said wrong, it gives you an opportunity to bring clarity. And a lot of times when we have these arguments and this misunderstanding, it's because we do not have clarity.
Yep. We're not on the same page. You're thinking one way, I'm thinking another.
But even that is okay. It's just that how can we meet in the middle?
Right.
Like, how can we just bring clarity and a conclusion to this, and not for you just to agree with me,
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't just agree with me to stop the argument or to stop the discussion. Like, don't just like, I want to make sure that you're clear of like what I'm saying, and that I want to be clear of what you're understanding.
Yeah. We have to. We got to find a way to get on the same page.
Yeah, I love communication. Like, I love to be able to talk. I love clear and precise understanding. Like, I love just having this opportunity to be able to just articulate so that we can come together. I didn't share this, and I know we got to go. Like 1 minute over, but I know we got to go. Yesterday, I had to preach at a church, and we were talking about the pastor of this church that I preach. I was a guest preacher at a church yesterday, and what the pastor was saying, like, he got up and he shared the vision of the church. And I was so, right now, many of you know, I am not like, I've visited churches, and I'm really like looking for like a church home to be a part of one day. I'm not in a rush. I've been in church for 41 years, and I'm not in a rush right now. Okay. God is still with me every single day. However, you know, I think like he was expressing and sharing his vision yesterday, and the vision was so clear. It attracted me to this church so much. I was like, oh my gosh, because it was clear. And it was like, I didn't have to ask questions or anything. And what he communicated and what he articulated was what the vision was going to be for 2025 for their church. And it was so clear. And it even drew me closer to want to be a part of that, because I love when a person can say, this is what I want, or this is what we're doing, and this is how we're doing it. It's a burnout to have to always think and always try to explain, and people not understand. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah, I love that. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, so it was great. So I really enjoyed this conversation, because we need to talk.
We need to talk.
We need to talk, and not only talk, we need to listen.
Yes, active listening.
Active listening. Practice listening.
Listening to learn, not listening to just respond.
Yeah, what a great conversation tonight.
Gary, you did the thing, Gary.
Yes, Gary.
Thank you.
Yes. Ana, any closing remarks before we leave?
I just want to thank everyone for being here on this wonderful Monday. Stay in the festive spirit, communicate effectively. Make sure you're on the same page with people. You just never know. And yeah, I hope to see you guys here next Monday.
Yeah, next Monday. Oh my God, I'm so excited about next Monday, because next Monday is our game night. So let me say this. So if you are interested, or if you would want to be a part of our game night, we are going to select a few people to be a part of it. It's going to be so fun. You're going to be so tired. You're going to need all your energy. We're going to do our family game night. So if you are interested, send us a message on any of our socials or in our email, and you can sign up to be a part of our game night by the end of the week. We are going to select who we would want to participate in this game night. Is going to be so amazing. So please, if you're interested, please be a part of it. You can reach out to us on our socials as I'm scrolling across the bottom if you would want to be a part. But next week is family game night. We got some holiday games and things that you can play with your family over the holiday season. And who knows, we may even have a special guest to come back and bring back some more holiday bubbles for some holiday drinks for us. So we'll talk more about that, but we do want you to be a part of the show next week if you are interested in our family game night. It is going to be a fun night, so please reach out to us on social media. Also, I'm excited. Don't forget about our summit that's coming up. Register. I saw someone say that they registered. Thank you so much, Tracy. Tracy registered. We just had someone register while we were right here on this live. So please make sure that you are going to register for the summit, because the registration is going to go fast. I promise you. I feel like it's going to come in one lump. Like it's going to just like whoosh, and we're going to be sold out. And everybody's going to be like, well, I wanted to wait. I was going to wait. Don't wait. It's going to be happening soon, February 1st. So make sure that you go and you register for that. Also, I'm really excited. I didn't say this, but we got our performer, Anthony Dupree, who has
Yes.
Worked with Vegas Productions before, now lives in Atlanta doing a lot of producing. I don't know if you saw my Instagram story, but Anthony is working on new music to perform. It is going to be a great performance. I gave him what I wanted to happen at the end of this summit. So Anthony is going to do a wonderful set for us, and he's working on new music. He's down in Atlanta in the studio preparing new music for this summit. So I'm excited about that. A great performance that's going to take place. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that. So, as we wrap up this episode and we think about all of the things that took place on tonight and the conversation that takes place, like these conversations are conversations that will continue. But I just really want everyone to take a moment, and I really want to encourage each of you to really practice effective communication, like in your daily lives. Like, remember, communication is not just about speaking. It's about listening, understanding, and connecting with others and showing that empathy in your conversations. Every conversation is an opportunity to build a bridge, resolve misunderstandings, and foster deep relationships. So embrace the power of active listening and show that empathy. And don't be afraid to express your thoughts and feelings openly. Start small, whether it's with a friend, family member, or a colleague. Take the time to engage in meaningful communication. This is more than just practice. This is more of a natural feeling that will take place, a natural understanding. All of the natural things, authentic things will come if you just take the time to step out and communicate. Together, we can create a world where our voices are heard and valued. So I want to thank you so much for being a part of this journey. As the conversation continues with us every single Monday night that we are here, we want you to take the time to communicate with one another. We love you and we appreciate you. We thank you so much. And we just ask that you continue to keep us in your thoughts and your prayers as we go forth to do what we love to do. Again, on behalf of my co-host, Ana Henderson, and myself, Dwayne Wiggins Jr., we thank you for watching A Human Being. Until next week, we'll see you. Bye.